Hi there, and welcome to week 9 of Level Design for Games. This week we're going to be talking about combat. So I know many of you have been looking forward to this. My experience in combat especially is in cover-based shooters, and that's kind of most of the games that I've worked on. It's generally going to be kind of focused on that, but I think that there's a lot of things that sort of can apply themselves to other sort of different types of combat in level design. So let's go ahead then and jump right into cover. So cover or occlusion, the types of basically the idea of the cover-based shooter was originally sort of prototyped and actually shipped in a game called Kill Switch, but it was popularized in Gears of War, the Gears of War series, and so essentially Gears of War moving from cover point to cover point, popping up, shooting people, and that sort of type of gameplay also was put into Uncharted Drake's Fortune, so the very first Uncharted, and sort of Uncharted used the sort of concept from sort of Kill Switch and Gears of War and tried to make it sort of more action adventure-y, some more platforming and stuff like that, and so kind of blended it to be more of a run and gun shooter along with sort of popping from cover and stuff like that. And we kept that same sort of like snapping into cover system for all of the Uncharted games. And then when Naughty Dog was developing The Last of Us, we had actually a similar snap-in to cover system until pretty late into development, but eventually shifted to the analog system that you see now when you play the game, where you can sort of be in and out of cover, in cover basically several meters sort of behind occlusion and move in and out, which offers a lot of really big advantages to move around the combat, which is kind of what I'm going to be talking a lot about here today. Cover and just cover occlusion, it's something that really all shooters to some degree basically use, but in a game like Doom, like right here, the player's sort of fast movement and their fast movement speed and sort of the slower enemy projectiles allow the player to do a lot of bullet dodging, and essentially the main part of the game is in flow, in circulating quickly from place to place and dodging enemy placement and dodging enemy movement and dodging projectiles as they come with you, but also using shapes like you see this doorway and hallways and things like that to sort of block and corral enemies and projectiles as well. So basically moving around in the basically flowing from place to place is sort of the primary sort of gameplay here, and cover is secondary. So there's really a whole spectrum from kind of the more strictly cover-based shooters to a full-on shooter like this, but they all sort of deal with occlusion in one way or another. So what is cover, essentially, in the context of these the cover-based shooters, at least? So I want to start with just some basics here, but just we're going to sort of build small and keep going. And so the idea is, imagine that if all of the enemies had little flashlights and they're pointing towards the player. So essentially the player is occluded, is hidden from the enemies when essentially they're hiding in the shadows of the occlusion created by cover objects. So